Just the thought of owning a second home in your favorite vacation spot, well, it sounds like fun. But this is a serious undertaking, and more than just financially. Let's talk about some of the things that you need to think about when seriously considering taking the leap and owning a second home. Getting away from the stresses of everyday life. That's the biggest reason why people buy a second home. Other reasons are for better weather, maybe some rental income, and having a place to gather with friends and family. So what's your reason for wanting a second home? In this video, I'm going to share with you some tips and maybe even some things that you may not have considered when owning a second home. According to Go Banking rates, 1/3 of wealthy Americans who don't currently own a second home are interested in purchasing one. And look, even though they're talking about wealthy Americans, you don't have to be part of that 1% to benefit from owning a second property. I mean, it sounds great, doesn't it? Having a home away from home in a place that you absolutely love, maybe at the beach or in the mountains or in the desert or in the heart of the city. But like any big decision in life, owning a second property comes with positives and negatives. It's easy to get caught up in the fantasy of owning a second home in a favorite vacation spot. But owning a second home, even if it's just a few hours drive away from your current home, or if it's in another state, or if it's someplace abroad, it's still a commitment, and not only financially. There are a ton of things to know before you take that leap and invest in your second home. Sure, just the fact of owning a second home in your favorite vacation spot is probably all rainbows and butterflies in the beginning. You may even get a little kick out of making friends and family a little jealous. But you know what's coming next. They're going to want to know, when can we come visit? Maybe for you it's just simply the excitement of having a place to escape to when the weather at home turns yucky, or when life just becomes too much. But a second home is not a vacation like you normally think of as a vacation. This is a second home. It requires attention. It requires maintenance. It requires cleaning. You may be thinking, hey, I'm just going to drop my suitcase. I'm going to go hang at the pool or the beach, go out to dinner, maybe stay up late into the night hanging out with newfound friends. And sure, some of that will happen, but not the entire time that you spend at your second home. You are living at this new place. You are making a life here, no matter how temporary. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's a responsibility that comes along with that. If the water heater bursts or the air conditioning stops working, there is no landlord to call. You are the landlord. You may be in vacation mode while you're at your second home, but essentially, you are still a homeowner. Plus, you're going to be adapting to the lifestyle in your new location, because it's pretty likely that there's going to be two different lifestyles at your two different home bases, which is what you want, right? First and foremost, a second home should be an escape from your regular life. But is your new locale a party town where the streets are alive with activity well into the wee hours of the morning? Or do the sidewalks roll up before 10 p.m.? You need to prepare yourself for the change of pace that's going to come along with this new area. You may also need to prepare yourself for the locals who may not take too kindly to you. That warm welcome that you were hoping for may turn out to be the cold shoulder from the locals who are not too happy about having their town infiltrated by visitors. Having friends and family visit will certainly help this, but just be cautious about how many visitors you actually have at your home away from home. Sure, it's only natural that you're going to miss your loved ones while you're away enjoying your second home. And you definitely want to stay connected with them and encourage them to visit while you're away. Visitors are nice, don't get me wrong, but then you're stuck playing host and cooking and cleaning and making sure that they're having a good time. And then you are not enjoying your time and your vacation spot. You also have to consider, how are you getting to your second home? Is it a few hours drive away? Is it a plane ride away? The process of traveling and packing to get there and then packing and traveling to get back home is not necessarily a fun process. Even deciding on what clothes and personal items to leave behind at your second home is a big undertaking. How do you decide what stays and what comes back home with you? And what about if you forget something? Are you prepared to buy two of the same thing just to make sure that you've got one at each location? And then you have to factor in who's going to watch the home while it's unoccupied. Having someone to keep an eye on your primary home while you're away may be an easier task because you can lean on friends and family. But do you know somebody that you can rely on in your vacation destination? Especially somebody that you can trust to alert you when something goes awry? In this instance, a professional home watch company can be your best ally. If you're unsure exactly what home watch is, I'll address that in a future video. One of the biggest pitfalls that you may not have even considered when purchasing a second home is, will you get tired of going to the same place year after year? If you're the type of person that likes to travel and experience new things and meet new people, then owning a second home may not be right for you. You may feel obligated to go to your second home every year just because of the financial commitment that you made. And not only that, but will you get bored going to the same place every year? You have to ask yourself, weather, environment, practicality, expense, do all of these things line up for you to spend half a year at your primary residence and maybe half a year in your vacation destination? There is a financial aspect to this, yes, but there's also a mental aspect to this as well. Is your mental well-being worth it? Is the aggravation worth it? Or are you just doing it to look suave in front of your friends and family? Is suave even a word these days? I don't know, but some people do like to kind of give a little nudge to their friends and family to say, hey, I made it. What are your concerns about investing in a second home? Tell me in the comments below, and I'll try to address it in a future video. You may ultimately come to the conclusion that it's just not worth it for you financially or mentally. But if the idea of owning a second home really excites you and makes the thought of living worthwhile, then click on the link down below. Whether it's along the coast, within the mountains, somewhere in a city, someplace abroad, but you're not really sure about the ins and outs, let's connect. I've built relationships with top agents not only in the US, but also overseas. Let's have a conversation about what your exact situation is so I can connect you with the right agent so you can find the ideal home away from home. There's a few more things to factor in when considering investing in a second home. What will you do about doctor's visits? Will you keep all your doctors in your primary location for all your visits? And maybe just do your regular checkups before you head out to your second home destination? How about if there's a medical emergency? Here's a tip. Get a referral from your doctor before you leave. And keep all of your paperwork and records with you so in case there is an emergency, you're prepared. And be sure to stay connected with your friends back home during your time away. You don't want to get so caught up in the new lifestyle and the new friends that you've made in your home away from home that you lose touch with those friends. Because when you do head back home, you're going to want to keep those relationships and pick up right where you left off. If you or your partner's health declines, or one of you receives a life-altering diagnosis, will you still be able to, or will you still want to, make the trip back and forth to your vacation destination? And if not, how easy will it be to sell your vacation spot in order to concentrate on the important things of life? Owning a second home in a place that you've always dreamed about is definitely exciting. But like anything, it's about really getting past that excitement and digging into the joys and the complexities to make sure it's the right decision for you. If you're curious about even more ins and outs of owning a second home, check out this video here. Thank you for joining me. I hope you found this video valuable. I'm Alysia Shivers. Until next time.